welcome to the Inside Track on Real Estate with the Dekker Team. I'm Yetta Dekker.
And I'm Ken Dekker.
And together we form...
part of the Dekker Team.
Right. And the whole Dekker family is part of the Dekker Team. And so if you ever need real estate counsel, there is many of us to give you input.
Yeah.
And to be that real estate resource for you. In fact, the other day I had a client, I was away for a few days, who called and said to Candace, even though we have an offer, maybe we should wait till Mama comes back. And Candace said, no, I think I can do this. By the time I got back, there was a text saying that they really thought she was awesome and maybe even preferred her over me.
Yeah,
and could I go away again? So we obviously all know what we're doing.
Just because she got full price for their house.
I know.
Yeah.
She did a really good job and did an amazing amount of work to make sure it happened, right? And so although she's been in the industry, I guess about 6 years, it feels more like 20 because it's been what she's been around and since she was 4. So I guess more like 25 years. So anyway, we are here to help you, whoever it is on the team that you connect with. So today we're doing one of our favorite shows, and that is the Real Estate Market Update.
Absolutely.
And a favorite show, I think, because it informs you of what's going on. We love it when, and many of you, thank you for calling in and asking for market updates for your specific neighborhood. We're going to keep offering that as a service to you. So if you want to email or call us, we will make sure we set up a specific to your neighborhood market activity search.
Yeah.
Just keeps you informed.
Yes.
Even if you're not going to move right now.
Yes.
Because if you're going to move right now, you want to call us and have us come in and sit down with you and go through the process. Yeah. So
what's happening with the market?
What's happening?
Well, you almost can't talk about the real estate market without talking a little bit about global market because of the things that are going on with the economy. Right. We're seeing gasoline at the lowest price we've seen in
I don't remember last time I saw
right?
81 cents on a sign.
Yeah, I think, crude's trading at just under $50 last time I looked. We were up over $100 a year ago, we were up over $100. So I think I remember in the 70s, the trade cartel setting it at $20 a barrel. And we're now at 49, and there's hints that it may continue to go down. You look at gold. I believe it was Switzerland that did they took off the cap on their franc compared to the euro, and it raised like 20% in one day in value. And what happened was people pulled their money out of currency and went into gold. So now gold broke $1,300 recently. It's been over a year since it's been there. So there's a lot of things happening in the economy. And
both
the
locally
world,
in the country
the
and
world
globally.
Economy.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, today the Bank of Canada lowered rates 0.25%. So
the interest rates.
Interest rates, yeah.
Yep.
So what we'll probably see is that will forward into a slight reduction in the borrowing rate at the banks. Right now it's just the prime lending rate, but that hasn't filtered down, but typically it does. So we may see interest rates come down even a little bit more for the variable rate in the near future because the world economy is so fragile. And our dollar,
it makes me want to cry because I just had to go to the States for another training program.
Yeah.
I wish more of the training programs would come to Canada. It would save me so much
money. When their dollar was on par, more of them were coming to Canada. Now they get a lot less for their dollar.
It's about 20 cents now.
20 cents, it costs you $1.20 to buy $1 US. Yeah. And so that's affecting our dollar, which puts downward pressure on the interest rate because they want to bolster up the dollar a little bit. So that's why we're seeing the government react. Now, what's that translate into housing?
Because we really care about the housing most, right?
Well, that's what we're into.
Well, except the whole thing does impact housing.
Yeah, this isn't the economy show. This is the Inside Track on real estate. So we better talk about real estate a little bit.
Okay, let's do real estate.
So a drop in interest rate actually makes housing more affordable and continues to have that little bit of upward or supporting of the pricing that's going on in the market. So let's look at, because again, it's supply and demand. Supply and demand.
And I think we've been saying for the last couple of years, every month, more supply than the previous same time frame the previous year.
Yes, and what I'm noticing is a little slowdown in that increasing, though.
Oh, that's good.
Thank goodness.
That makes me so happy,
Yeah.
and I suspect it makes all of your sellers really happy.
Yeah, where
too.
we want to see that is actually balance out and tip down a little bit because it's
'Cause
still there's a lot
it's a
of
bit
inventory.
much.
Yeah, there's a lot of inventory.
Yeah.
And there's two ways to get rid of inventory.
Sell it
Yep,
or take it off the market.
exactly.
Right.
And-
And we would rather sell it
Yes,
than take it off the market.
that's our preference.
Yes, it is.
So
We've
currently,
been hired to do a job. We want to do the job.
yes, and 87% of the time we sell the houses that we have
Right.
listed for sale. Now that's not the same for the market. The market's more around 50% of houses that go on sell. So we're outperforming the market.
By 37%.
By a good percentage,
That's
yeah.
pretty awesome, actually.
Yes.
So that would be a reason you'd want to call us if you want to sell, actually, because we actually want to sell property, not just have our for sale signs on the property.
Yeah, we don't want to list property.
I don't list property.
No, we want to
Sell
sell
them.
it. Yeah.
Yep.
So currently there's 4,789 active freehold residential properties
In the Ottawa Real Estate Board.
in the whole board.
And that, I think I'll just give a quick lesson as to where that covers. That's right from downtown at the river,
Mm-hmm.
between Quebec and Ontario, all the way out really to the 401.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty
Kinda
much. I
slows
mean, it
down as you
slows-
hit past Kempville, but
Yeah,
there is
well,
some out there.
Yeah, there is still
Yeah, we
the
got an
Ottawa Board.
overlap in that area
Right.
between the Rideau St. Lawrence board and the Ottawa board. So a lot of those properties are listed on both boards, actually.
Yes, they are. So
Mm-hmm.
that actually, yeah, that's interesting. However, it really creates the entire city of Ottawa plus all of the outskirts that you might think of as
Yeah.
Ottawa and area.
And then, you know,
'Cause
on the
Arm
east,
Prior is still on there.
Rockland.
Rockland is on there.
Yep.
Renfrew's on our board, quite a bit of it.
Yeah.
So Constance Bay
To the west, yeah.
to the west, and so right across, yeah.
So all of that wide expanse of area, 4,789 houses.
With more of the volume being closer
In the
in,
core.
just because there is more volume.
Absolutely.
Right.
The average sale price, or the average asking price, 430,000.
Right.
800.
$844.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, interesting, with that almost 5,000 houses for sale, last 12 months, it like as of me checking the computer today, 12,368 sold
Right.
at 97% of asking price. So they're
Okay.
still getting decent amount of their asking price.
Right.
The average sale price 368,
Okay.
359.
Right.
That's about 4.6 months of inventory.
Okay. So that's a balanced market.
Yeah, no, that's based on historically January inventory levels are lower
Right.
than June levels or whatever.
Right. But then
considerably
so are
lower.
the sales volumes.
Yeah, but the sales volume we're calculating for the last 12 months,
Oh,
which
right.
includes.
Okay.
So this is skewed a little bit, but it's still looking around a balanced area.
To a little bit of a buyer's market.
Yep.
Which is what
52
we're
days
hearing
on market
on average.
on average. Which
And that's cumulative days on market?
it doesn't really show on the,
Okay,
on
so
the
in
stat
this,
I'm pulling.
recognize that it actually is more than 52. It's 52 days on the current listing that property is listed. So it really is average days on market. For the majority is significantly larger than that.
Yeah.
And so that we do on a one-on-one when we're looking at your specific community. Then we can pull the cumulative days on market and do a calculation based on the homes that have actually sold that are similar to yours. And cumulative days simply means that when a property is on the market, say at $600,000, and then the market does not receive it, meaning no buyer buys it, and maybe eventually before it sells, it's had 3 listing periods, and it's now $525,000, those days have to be added together unless there was an absence, a significant space between 2 listing periods.
Yeah. Now the good news is conditionally sold 202, so that's in the last week or so.
That's very good.
Average 374,000, so
Okay.
that's a little higher than the average for the previous 12 months, which is a good thing. Days on market is saying around 61, so again it's trending up.
Right.
Previous 12 months, 12,397, so really 29 less houses in the last 12 months compared to the previous 12 months.
Okay.
Pretty much
A
Yeah,
wash.
a wash. 29 houses over
good.
a whole year and over the whole area.
Well,
it's like
2
nothing.
a month, right?
It's nothing. Average sale price in the previous 12 months was $365, $616. So average price over the whole year, which gives us a pretty good sense because, you know...
The longer you do it over, the better it is,
Yeah,
really.
because certain houses will skew it. In some months we may see, a big increase or decrease or whatever. But when you spread it out over 12 months, you're getting a pretty good idea. And over the entire market. 0.7% increase, which is right about where I expected it to be, pretty much flush.
And we're seeing certain areas actually seem to have gone down in pricing, and other areas seem to have gone up in pricing when you actually look at a specific neighborhood.
A little bit, yeah. But there's nothing really jumping out that's just flying through the roof or really, doing
an average
poorly.
of 0.7, which is really a wash.
Yeah. So let's talk inventory. At the end of the month, 3,925 houses. That's the end of December, and the end of December, the year previous, was 3,300. So still an increase of about 19% over the previous December. Yeah, as far as inventory. Now, if we go back 5 years to 2010, we're actually talking 2,450 houses compared to 3,925, which is about a 60% increase.
And that's what we've been talking about, right? There's been, on average, about a 50, 60, 70% increase so often over, going back 4 or 5 years in terms of the inventory with similar unit numbers or number of homes selling as happened in that 2010 and 2009. And
so again, the amount of inventory is putting downward pressure on pricing. I just think our location, the Ottawa area, is very robust, very economically sound, and that's bolstering the pricing up, and the interest rates being so phenomenal is holding prices up. So we're not seeing drops in pricing, even though inventory is significantly higher. Right. So it's good news.
It's very good
and for buyers, it's fantastic. They have such a selection to pick from.
It is. We always say it's never been better, and it's always never been better for something within the market. And right now, what's never been better is the volume of inventory available. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, I usually like to break down a couple areas because people always ask me, well, what about my area? So I pulled a couple areas just to take a look. Westboro and Carlingwood area.
Right, which is an area we've just been really active in a fair bit lately, so we just thought it's fun to give you stats, because we cover the entire city, that we're busy or active in every area throughout a given period of time, and it just seems to be we've been hanging out there a fair bit, and it's an area that's so much talked about.
Yeah, so 64 active homes with an average sale price of $749, $735. 3.5 months of inventory, so it shows you it's a little more active area because there's a month less of inventory compared to the other. But it's still a small area. 218 sold last year,
right?
With an average sale price of $665, $221. So it's quite an affluent area compared to
the rest
average.
Of the city. Yep.
Okay, 49 days on market, so still similar days on market. And right now there's 3 conditionally sold with an average sale price of $933.
Asking price.
No, sold.
Well, how can you know a sold price?
You're right.
So here's the information, which is how I could trip Ken up. I knew it was coming. Isn't this awesome? That's what happens when you put a husband and wife on a show together. So when a property is conditionally sold, the only information we have access to is the actual asking price.
Yes.
And it's not until it is firm that we can actually see the selling price.
Yeah. Now this is really interesting.
So maybe the average price will not
it won't be that much lower,
but it'll probably still be in the
900s. Yeah, but still 900,000. Last year, the last 12 months, the average was 665. So they've sold some higher end homes. Days on market, 116 days for those 3 properties that are conditionally sold, which tells me they've been around for a while. That's a good sign if people are buying more expensive properties that have been around for a while. That's a really good sign for a spring market.
That's a great indicator. Huh. So if you're just joining us on the Inside Track on Real Estate with the Dekker Team, we're talking about our update. We love doing the updates, and if you want specific market update information for your area, as we have promised and will continue to offer you and have been offering you and providing for you, is specific to your neighborhood. And it can be set on the computer, it can be automated, you can email us or you can call us, info@dekkerteam.com or 613-860-4663, 613-860-HOME.
Home.
And it's not my home, it's my office.
Yeah,
but it's a home that you might want to move into.
So the previous 12 months in that Westboro, Carlingwood area, 213 sold. So there's actually been 5 more sold.
That's awesome news.
In an area that size. That's good.
That's excellent.
And average sale price was $631.12, like a previous 12 months.
Right.
So this last 12 months, $665, which gives us a 5.3% increase in price in that little pocket.
Right. And that's what I was saying earlier in the show, and I think I say it every show, so this part's repetitive. Because we're looking at specific areas, there are areas where we've seen them go down 3-4%. And this is part of where you're seeing the average is 0.7 because certain areas really still are going up 4 or 5%.
Right.
And here's one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's very cool.
So let's talk condos.
Okay, condos as a whole. Because so far what we've been talking about is homes that
Freehold.
do not have a condominium fee, although they may have a maintenance fee.
Yeah.
2 totally different conversations, right? So now we're talking about true condominium. Could be a high rise, could be a low rise, could be a stacked townhome, could be a bungalow, could be anything where the ownership of the property is based on condominium status. Perfect.
So currently 1,455 active properties for sale with an average price, asking price of $322,758. 2,581 sold in the previous 12 months.
Right?
At an average price of $262. So there's a bit of discrepancy.
Huge
between
discrepancy.
The so that tells you more of the smaller ones are selling than...
Right. It doesn't mean they're selling for that much less.
No.
It just means that,
and again, it was around 97% of asking price on average.
Okay.
When
they finally sell.
When they sell.
Because it's fascinating. The 97% is not even remotely close to truth if we look at what properties were originally listed for and then what they actually sold for after the journey, the history that they've been on.
Yeah, it could be they went down considerably more.
Yeah.
They weren't priced properly to start with. Yeah. So 72 conditionally sold in the last couple of weeks, which is great for this time of year.
Yep.
Average sale price $275, which again was more than the average sale price of the previous ones, so that's good. 60 days on market. About 6.8 months of inventory. Now it's important, we keep talking about 60 days on market, right? And the average closing is 60 days, 90 days, 30 days.
120 days?
Yeah, so typically from the time someone decides they're going to put their house up on the market, it's probably going to be 4 to 6 months before you actually move into another property or move out of your property. So it's very important for our listeners who are listening to me right now, grab the phone, call the Dekker Team at 613-860-4663 because inventory is lower now than it will be in May and June. Right. And if you want to sell and close for a June closing, pretty much now. Get on the phone and because we're going to come do a consultation, find out what we need to change, if there's any little changes to the house, any staging, and that kind of stuff.
And strategize with you just about the entire strategy of the selling process.
Yeah. So this was a little railroad track.
No, but it's a very important one because it really does impact your days on market. Getting the price right in the first place, your average asking to selling ratio for us, it's a whole lot higher than 97%. So we're pricing them and you're allowing us to work together to price it where it needs to be to get your home sold. And that's exciting because often people will say to me, well, I'm not in a hurry, so therefore I can ask a little bit more. And I always want to have a little cry.
Not if the market's going down.
Right, and even if
you'll be waiting forever.
Right, and even if the market isn't going down, even if it is stable, or even if it is going up, by waiting, you actually decrease the desirability of your specific property.
Yeah, I guess that's stale bread mentality.
Right, because the best price you're ever going to get on a house
usually
generally speaking, is as you put it into the market in those first few weeks in the market.
You get the most activity.
Yeah,
and
and
there's
therefore
a pent-up demand for
right,
housing.
for that particular property because it's new to the marketplace.
Right.
That's exciting.
It is.
Love that part. So we want to work with you on that. So
So-
do what he says and call us.
So here's what's interesting with condos. Again, we're seeing the same kind of slide.
Yeah.
2,581 sold in the last 12 months. The previous 12 months, 2,871, which means we've decreased in sales about 10%.
That's heavy.
That's heavy. Remember in the housing, it was like you couldn't even calculate the percentage. It was so small, right? In the freeholds. In the condos, 10% decrease in sales is significant. But again, average sale price right flush.
Right.
262 200 compared to 262 600.
Right.
So virtually exactly the same average sale price this 12 months compared to 12 months ago.
Right.
So no change in pricing. That's good news.
That is
Especially
good
with that little of sales and inventory going up. So let's look at inventory. 1375 compared to 1315 the previous
Okay.
year.
Uh-huh.
That's a very low increase, 4.5% increase.
Right.
So the condominium glut, I'll call it, glut of condominiums, the pace at which it's been increasing is slowing.
That's
Good
good.
news. That's good news.
That is good news because we've been really watching it closely and a little concerned, especially in the higher end condo market.
Yeah, we still need it to go down, but right now it's slowing. That's a good sign. And compared to 2010, it's gone up 103%. So there's twice as many condominiums for sale right now, today, as there were 5 years ago.
With not really any more selling.
No.
So that's an important piece of information to know.
That's a lot of downward pressure on pricing. So again, let's look at a couple areas. I did pull Westboro, Carlingwood area. Not a lot of condominiums in that area.
No, of course there's not.
So there's 49 active.
Yeah.
With a $457,000 average price. 66 sold in the previous 12 months.
Right.
This current 12-month period, 62 sold. So 4 less.
Yeah, that's
Not a lot.
manageable. Yep.
But we've got 9.48 months of inventory. That's a fairly heavy inventory, and it's because it's all in the upper price range, right? In the last 12 months, the average sale price was $412,000 in a condominium, when normally your condominiums are, $262,000.
That's your average.
Your average.
That includes the higher ones and the lower ones. So,
Yeah.
a lot of your condominiums
there may not
are
be
in
a
the
lot of-
150, 130.
Yeah, so there's probably not a lot of low-end condominiums in that area.
There isn't.
Okay. Yes. So average sale price down 2.3%. So interesting. Condos down 2.3% in Westboro. Freeholds up 5%.
This is interesting.
Yeah.
Don't you think that's interesting? This is interesting stuff.
Yeah, especially if you live there.
Exactly. Or if you're thinking of moving
or
there.
you want to live there.
Right.
Yeah, so then what I did was I moved on to the core of the city, kind of the downtown core. And
Because we enjoy that area lots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and there's more condominiums, so I thought
Yes.
that'll give us a better taste of what's going on down there.
Right.
Active 422, again 426,000 for average sale price in the actives. Sold was 531. So that's about 9.5 months of inventory, so significantly a buyer's market. And average price there was 356.
Wow.
And 58 days on the market.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 14 conditionally sold, though. That's the good news.
That is great news.
The bad news is
in the deep freeze.
the average of those was only 302.
Oh.
So either we're just selling lower price ones.
And these are the asking prices that the average is 302.
The conditional sold price is 302. Yeah, so they're selling cheaper ones right now in
Less
the downtown
expensive?
core.
Awesome.
Yes, less expensive. Previous 12 months, 567. That's a 6.3% decrease.
Right.
And the average sale price was 349. So that's actually an increase in sales price of not
In
a
the
lot.
core.
In the core.
So that's a good thing.
A little bit increase, yeah. So that's all I've got for market updates.
Okay.
You got a nice house for us to talk
I
about?
always have a nice house to talk about. And I like to mix it up a little bit. So we've been talking about more in-town property, and I'm not going to feature one there at all because I don't feel like it. So instead we're going to talk about an amazing bungalow that is on the outskirts. It's just outside Kemptville. And the reason I want to talk about this one is somebody that's been living in Westboro that maybe has built up a bit of a nest egg and is now ready for that retirement or semi-retirement and wants to go to a bungalow because the bulk of I guess there's some bungalows in this downtown
is this on a
area.
golf course?
It is. It's
So
on
I
a
could
golf
practice
course.
my swing if we bought
You
that?
can't move.
Oh.
We're looking to help buyers and sellers make the transition rather than the Dekker household.
Oh.
Anyway,
okay.
great bungalow, $395,000. It is open concept. It's been really nicely chosen in terms of the fit and the finish of the property. Contemporary and yet really suitable for that semi-retirement because that's who bought it in the first place. And they're just looking at needing to make an additional lifestyle change. And so if you're looking at that too, you'll want to call us. So 2 bedrooms upstairs with another finished living space in the lower level, as well as a bedroom and a bathroom. So it really functions well if you have either older teens or even guests that come and stay for an extended period of time.
Did I mention it's on a golf course?
You did.
Okay.
I thank you for helping me.
All right, no
I
problem.
couldn't do this without you.
I know you couldn't.
So if you're interested in that property or anything similar or even not similar to it, give us a call at 613-860-4663, 613-860-4663. And again, in this point in the show, I want to let you know that if you want an analysis of your neighborhood, if you would like a buyer consultation or a seller consultation where we can sit down and strategize and have a conversation about what works best for you, even if you're 6 months, a year, maybe even 2 years down the road. It does not hurt to plan so that you have a better idea of what's coming down the road, and then you can adjust accordingly. So we would love to do that with you.
And it doesn't cost much.
No, it doesn't cost you anything. It just costs us some time and you some time.
It costs them a lot
What does
if
it
they
cost them?
don't have us in,
It does.
because they might make a mistake.
And we don't want you to do that.
No, not in this market. You need an expert in your corner.
Yeah, you really do. So thank you for watching the Inside Track on Real Estate.
Maybe I'll
And
call
Ken-
you Coach.
Coach.
Coach Yetta.
Actually, I was told, somebody told me today I'm a great teacher.
Well, why don't we call
And I
you
thought
Coach?
I'm not a teacher.
Call a coach if you
Call
want
the
to sell your
coach
house. Yeah,
or any
Coach
one of the
Yetta.
team members because it's Coach Ken, Coach Ryan, Coach Candace. That's the other one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to give any of us a call, we would love to sit down with you, and we all know pretty much the same thing, which is,
I think I know more.
okay, he knows more about numbers. So if you want to talk numbers, call Ken. Anyway, it is a pleasure to be with you every week.
Speaking of numbers, the phone number is 613-860-4663. Give us a shout. You'll be glad you did. Have a great day.
Thanks for joining us on the Inside Track on Real Estate with the Dekker Team. Thanks for now.